Lion City, Singapore, one of the crown jewels of Asia. And this week, the setting is unique. We're at Singapore Island Country Club for an event that in 3 short years has become one of the premier amateur tournaments in the game of golf. 120 players representing 35 different nations, all focused on a single objective: to win the 2011 Asian Amateur Championship. We are in Singapore to begin a journey that for one of these players will culminate 10,000 miles away at the end of Magnolia Lane as a member of the field at the 2012 Masters. And the setting this week, as you can see, is magnificent. Singapore Island Country Club, the new course, a demanding test that will challenge every aspect of these young players' games. Today from Singapore, it's the first round of the 2011 Asian Amateur Championship. Bill McAtee, along with longtime Asian Tour player and broadcaster Dominique Boulet. And let's take a look at this field. 120 players representing 35 of the 36 member nations of the Asia Pacific Golf Confederation. Players from Kyrgyzstan, Lebanon, Macau, Qatar, and the Solomon Islands are here at the Asian Amateur Championship for the very first time.
Yeah, what an exciting weekend. What a great opportunity for all these young amateurs here.
And here's what's at stake: an invitation to the field at the 2012 Masters, and the winner and runner-up will also receive entry into the 2012 Open Championship International Final Qualifying, as well as an AAC trophy and the gold medal to the champion. Play started early this morning, and it was Mark Ong, the 15-year-old from Singapore, who got things started.
10 players from Singapore, and the youngest of them leading the way.
But the weather became a factor early. 10 minutes into the start of play, the horn sounded, and play was suspended for just over an hour. Players were cleared from the golf course, brought back in, but then play resumed, and here is young Mr. Ong at 14, the par 3.
Part of the winning Putra Cup team from Singapore just 4 weeks ago when they won in Hong Kong, and a beautiful tee shot there from the young man. That led to this putt for a birdie 2 to get him back to even par. Beautifully done.
A little bit more about this young man. We said he's 15 years old. He is currently 633 in the World Amateur Rankings. First appearance in the Asian Amateur Golf Championship.
Yeah, I mean, we're always together, we travel together, and we are very close together between the 10 of us. So it's really like a team event. It's like, especially playing in front of home ground, we all want to perform and do our best so that it's good for the country as well. Yeah.
Mark Ong, and Dom, let's take a look at his card.
Yeah, started on the back 9 with a nice par on 10, but bogeyed the 11th and then came back with a nice birdie there on the 14th. And
Well, here's Jake Higginbottom, the Aussie. Second shot at the 5th, the 423-yard par 4.
Beautiful shot there for the young Australian. He's second Asian amateur.
Top-ranked junior golfer in Australia, came in 39th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, tied for 24th a year ago, and here he is at the par 3 11th.
Dangerous tee shot, especially with a front pin. Shot a 68 in the first round in Japan last year. So he knows how to put in a low score here in the Asian Amateur Championship.
Third shot, par 5, 18th. And that was well done. He got off to a good start last year, was tied for second after the first day, but he struggled down the stretch, unable to make a birdie in his final 34 holes. But that wasn't a problem today, as he cards a 68. A little bit more about this Aussie. Second Asian Amateur Golf Championship appearance. And another great start for Higginbottom. Meanwhile, here's another Aussie, Matthew Steiger, his second shot at the 9th, 564-yard par 5.
A little right to left, dog leg downhill for the second shot, and that's a terrific shot from the current Australian Amateur Champion.
Gave himself this putt for eagle to get into red figures.
Green's running smoothly. This was the putt for birdie. Nicely done.
So back to level par as he made the turn. And here he is for eagle at 16.
The easiest hole on the golf course, the 16th. Running that putt by a little bit.
Now for birdie at 17. Finally, he says that got him to 2 under. And Steiger shot 70 today. 20 years old, 46th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, and his very first appearance in the Asian Amateur Championship. Reigning Australian Amateur Champion. Now from New Zealand, one of the favorites, Ryan Fox, his second shot at the 9th.
He's played in every Asian Amateur. And another player just finding the edge of the green, got an eagle opportunity. Right from the front edge, slow putt up the hill.
21st in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, the second highest ranked player in the field. And here's what he had to say afterward.
Yeah, very happy. The goal was to win this week, as I guess most people was. So yeah, put myself in a position to do that. It's good.
69 today. Meanwhile, here's Tan-Wan Lee from Korea. Third shot at 16, the par 5.
This is going to be a pivotal hole on Sunday. Eagle opportunity. It's a finish at the new course here in Singapore Island Country Club, where players can really make up some ground in the last 3 holes.
And that was for birdie. And perhaps the shot of the day came from Ronaldi Aldiandono of Indonesia at the 11th, and very nearly hold it. From Chinese Taipei, Hung Chen Yao. That was for birdie. And from Japan, Masahiro Kawamura for birdie at the 12th. And then second shot at the 17th, the par 4.
Yeah, it's a drivable par 4, but electing to lay up. Leaving himself about a 15-footer for a birdie 3 to get to 3 under par. And right in the bottom of the cup.
Meanwhile, the hottest golfer of the morning round, Kenneth Christian John De Silva, Kenneth De Silva of Malaysia. That was his second shot at the 8th. Now his third at 9, the par 5.
Having to lay up, coming in for his third. A member of the Malaysian Putra Cup team.
This for birdie. Little fist pump. Now at 13.
Short par 4. peppering his irons.
He played in the first 2 Asian Amateur Championships but failed to make the cut. But he was red hot this morning. Holding another putt. This for birdie at the 15th.
A long par 4 up the hill. One of the toughest holes on the course, but De Silva making birdie.
Now at 16, third shot on the par 5. Birdie there. And at 18 for par. And he is in with 67. And one of the themes of the Asian Amateur Championship is creating heroes. Kenneth said the player he admires is last year's champion. He said that watching Hideki Matsuyama win the title last year, then playing in the field at the Masters and finishing as the low amateur has been an inspiration to him, making him realize that anything is possible. Here's what Kenneth had to say after his round.
Yeah, this is my best round for the big tournament, and I feel proud of myself. Today I play the best round ever from my biggest tournament.
So the leaderboard after the morning session, Kenneth De Silva 67, a 1-shot advantage from Jake Higginbottom and a 2-shot lead from Ryan Fox from New Zealand. And we'll be back with more from Singapore, the opening round of the Asian Amateur Championship, right after this. We're back in Singapore, and for more information on the Asian Amateur Golf Championship plus live scoring and player video, go to aacgolf.com. Well, the AAC welcome reception was held here at Singapore Island Country Club last night. Plenty of golfing dignitaries on hand. Billy Payne, the chairman of the Masters Tournament, Alan Gormley, the chairman of the RNA, along with many of the players, 120 in all, and defending champion Hideki Matsuyama gave the pledge of fair play, which he had learned in English. And then everyone settled in for an evening of entertainment by some local artists here in Singapore. Chairman Payne out early to watch some of the action. And the afternoon session began with defending champion Hideki Matsuyama, 19-year-old who became the first amateur from Japan ever to play in the Masters. And here he is at the ninth, the par 5, his second shot.
He was even par at this point. Beautiful second into the par 5 ninth. He had that for an eagle 3 to turn in 2 under 34. That didn't drop, but he did make the birdie putt and turned in 1 under.
And here's his tee shot at the 11th, par 3, measuring 197. Put that in there tight. Finished at the Masters tied for 27th, shot 287 to match Phil Mickelson and PGA Tour money leader Matt Kuchar. And a year ago in Japan, he was just spectacular. All 4 rounds in the 60s. Here's his second shot at 17, the par 4, drivable. Put that in tight, and this for birdie. And our defending champion opens with a fine round of 67. A little bit more about this young man, Dom.
Yeah, the highest ranked amateur in this field. And of course, the winner last year, and what a performance he put up at the Masters earlier in the year. And a pretty tidy scorecard, only a bogey on the par 3 fourth, but 4 birdies and 1 eagle, and that all adds up to a fine round of 67.
And here is a young man with an outstanding game, student at Northwestern, Eric Chun, representing South Korea. Playing with Hideki Matsuyama.
Yes, and Lam Zi Chin, the Singapore hope. And that was a birdie putt for Eric Chung, who finished runner-up here 2 years ago in the inaugural Asian Amateur Championship.
"21 years old, senior now at Northwestern, playing in his 3rd Asian Amateur Championship."
Also in this group is Lam Zi Chin. Great hope here for the locals. In fine form, just recently finished 8th in the Asian Tour event just at Orchid Country Club, just a few miles down the road from here.
This for birdie at the 11th to get it back to +1. He shoots 74 today. A little more about this young man. 22 years old, ranked 198 in the world. And he is the reigning Singapore National Amateur Champion. Well, we mentioned it's a unique experience playing here. How about this? A little monkey pedestrian going by. It might be distracting, but not for Abhijit Singh Chadha. His 3rd shot at the 7th on its way. Puts it in tight. Our youngest competitor from India, Honey, chips that in at the 17th. He's 14 years old. And the oldest, here's Tamur Amin, 59 years old, from Pakistan.
Yes, his son is playing in the field, and he's managed to beat his son by 1 shot.
Made birdie there at the 8th. Meanwhile, here's Ben Campbell from New Zealand, 20 years old, ranked 44th in the World Amateur Rankings. Tied for 4th last year at the Asian Amateur. That was for birdie at the 17th. Now his 3rd shot at 18.
And the 4th highest ranked player in this field, but one of the most consistent players. Had a great performance throughout the summer, both in Australia and in the British Isles.
And this is to shoot 67. 5 under to open for Ben Campbell of New Zealand. Meanwhile, from Indonesia, Ian Andrew, 2nd shot at 15. And he went on to make birdie at 16 for eagle. Just lost its speed. Went on to make birdie there. And now 17.
This his 3rd shot on this short par 4, and he finds the bottom of the cup. An unexpected birdie for the Indonesian.
67 for Ian Andrew in the hunt, but the day belonged to Lee Soo-min from South Korea, 17-year-old who has had a tremendous amateur career in Korea. His 2nd shot at the 9th, where he finished up his final hole of the day. This for eagle. He started at 10 with a bogey, but had a tremendous second 9, finishing up on the front with 4 birdies and an eagle. A 30 for his second 9, 7 under par, 65. So a look at our leaderboard to the first round of the 2011 Asian Amateur Championship. Lee Soo-min, 65, and a 2-shot advantage from a group at -5. Kenneth De Silva, Ian Andrew, Hideki Matsuyama, our defending champion, and Ben Campbell. But plenty of players today in red figures in this opening round of the Asian Amateur. And Dom, outstanding scoring conditions today.
Yes, it certainly was, and it was wet this morning, so the greens were nice and soft.
Back with more from Singapore after this. Bill McAtee and Dom Boulay back at the Asian Amateur Golf Championship. And Dom, you've been coming to this part of the world for quite a while.
For 27 years to be exact, Bill, and it's a wonderful place to be. It's grown tremendously in the time that I've been visiting this city-state. But you know what you're going to expect in terms of the weather conditions and the golfing conditions. It's going to be hot and humid, and you're going to get some wildlife that you don't see in other parts of the world. But what a truly great initiative this has been from the Masters Tournament and the R&A for these young amateurs.
And this area is home to 850 species of plants and 500 species of animals. And here's a little more about our host nation, Singapore.
It's not very big, only 268 square miles, made up of 3 ethnic groups, the Chinese, the Malays and the Tamils. They gained their independence in 1965. Of course, it was a British colony. And it's the second most densely populated place in the world after Monaco.
Well, let's show you our leaderboard after the first round of the Asian Amateur Championship, and quite a performance by Lee Soo-min from Korea, the 17-year-old. 65 today.
Yes, it's a terrific performance. A mixture of countries you expect to be near the top: the Koreans, the Japanese, the Australians and the New Zealanders, but of course some countries that you would not expect to be near the top, like Malaysia and Indonesia.
35 of the 36 member nations of the Asia Pacific Golf Confederation are represented here this week. And as for the first time, we have players, we mentioned this earlier, from Kyrgyzstan, Lebanon, Macau, Qatar, and the Solomon Islands, all here for the first time at the Asian Amateur Championship.
Yes, and they're in tie for 6th place. Chu Si Huan, the local hope, 4 under par.
Well, Han Chan-won of Korea was just 17 years old and 2 months out of high school when he won the very first Asian Amateur Championship a year ago. He opened with a 66 on the World Cup course at Mission Hills in China, ended up 12 under par after 72 holes, and won by 5 shots over Eric Chun, who's in the field here this week. Chun, a student at Northwestern. And a year ago, the second Asian Amateur Championship, just outside of Tokyo, Asimigaseki Country Club, and the stage belonged to the 18-year-old from Japan, Hideki Matsuyama. All 4 rounds in the 60s. It was a magnificent performance. He won by 5 shots and was in the field at the Masters, where he tied for 27th. So who will be the champion this year of the 2011 Asian Amateur Championship? Terrific start by Lee Soo-min of Korea. He leads by 2 shots after the opening round. 65 today here on the new course at Singapore Island Country Club.
Yeah, surprising that the scoring was better in the afternoon. Usually conditions with the green spiking up, you would expect scores to be a little bit higher, but not the case today. So it'll be interesting to see how these players who played in the afternoon will get on tomorrow morning, but some very good players near the top of the leaderboard. Mark Ong there, the young 15-year-old Singaporean, terrific performance. First off this morning, an even par round of 72.
And in the afternoon, we had a 65 and 3 67s. So obviously the scoring got better as the day went on. But some impressive numbers from these talented players from Asia.
Certainly these players at 1 and 2 over par, not out of it. 3 days left of golf. A lot of things can happen. Disappointing day for Lam Zi Chin of Singapore, a member here at the Singapore Island Country Club. He would have expected a little bit better than 74.
Singapore is derived from Singapura, which is Malay for Lion City. And there are plenty of young lions here in the field of this Asian Amateur Championship. So winding down our coverage of day one, we'll see you back here tomorrow from Singapore at the 2011 Asian Amateur Championship. For Don Boulay, I'm Bill McAtee. See you tomorrow.